Hey there, welcome back to the Doing What Matters podcast. I'm your host, Teresa McCloy, and just like every week, I'm excited to be with you back for another episode. But this week, I'm especially excited. In fact, I have been anticipating this announcement for months. So you know, here on this podcast, we talk about getting rid of that daily grind, that constant hustle and rush. And I know that you're like me. You crave for something more, something that resonates with your mind, your body, and your soul. If that's you, you're in the right place. I'm here with you on the journey as a believer, as an entrepreneur, as a seeker of great conversation and great community. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today on this episode. I have asked one of our team members, Lindsay Sterchi, to join me on this episode for this great announcement that we're going to be making about our brand new free real life process circle community that we're opening. We have been working on this for months and months as we have brought together all of these amazing tools, and we're going to be sharing with you several things. First of all, who is this community for? Why would you want to be there and show up? And remember, it's absolutely free. So who's it for? Why would you want to be there and show up? Why would you want to engage? How we plan to engage with you and provide you great tools and resources, something I talk about here on the podcast all of the time. And this is going to be the space for you to do it in. So I can't wait to dive into this conversation with Lindsay Sterchi, our executive director of our REALIFE Maps. And you're going to hear about what she's going to bring to this community, as well as in the next couple of episodes, I'm going to be talking to a couple more of our team members about what they're going to be bringing into this real life process circle community that's absolutely free. So before I start the conversation with Lindsay, I want you to know that you can go to therealifeprocess.com, and right there at the top of the website, you'll see a place to join this community. You don't want to miss out because this is going to be a great place for you to engage. We're going to quit having these one-way conversations through the podcast, and we're going to join together in community where you can respond back and you can be a part of what's happening inside the Real Life Process community. So let's dive into a great conversation with Lindsay Sterchi. So Lindsay, welcome to the podcast. I'm really excited to share this news that we've been thinking about for over a year, that we are actually launching our brand new Real Life Process Circle community, absolutely free community. So thanks for being here with me today on the podcast to talk about all the things we want to talk about today. Welcome back.
Thanks. So excited to talk about this today.
I know. It's going to be so much fun. We have been planning this behind the scenes for a really, really long time. And before we get any further down the road, I just want to tell people where you can go. If you're listening today and you're like, I've been looking for a community that I can hang out in, that I know, like, and trust the people, and we're going to tell you all the great things, but all you have to do is go to therealifeprocess.com, our website, and you can click on that link and you'll be able to join this new free community that we're going to be talking about today on the podcast. We'll have that in the show notes. We'll tell you again at the end of the episode, but therealifeprocess.com, and you can join this free community that we're launching in. So let's dive in to what all we're going to have in this place. So this platform, this new community is going to be on a different platform. So you're going to be going off of Facebook and LinkedIn and some of those other places that you're familiar with this platform, and you're going to be joining this community on something called Circle. We've been using it for a long time, over a year probably, for some of our private groups that we have, but we're now going to be using it for this free community that we're forming. So you probably want to bookmark it or link it or something after you join so you can get back easily, or you can always come back to the website and we'll have a place for you to just click on community and be able to join right from there or get logged back in right from there. But Lindsay, before we get any further, let's just talk about what are we going to be doing inside of this brand new free community. Who's going to be there? Who else are they going to meet? All of those types of things. So fill us in.
Absolutely. Well, if you are wondering if this is a community for you, just the fact that you're listening to this podcast likely means this is the place for you. If you are someone who is passionate about business, you're a business owner, you might be a person of faith, you are interested in things like spiritual growth and personal development, this is the space for you. So we're kind of going to be focusing on 4 different areas in this space. And so that is personal development, business development, spiritual growth, and exploring your life story. So the content, the connection that we have will be around those 4 areas.
Yeah. And because you are listening to this podcast, you hear a lot of my life story. You do that journey with me. As I always say, we're doing this journey together. And what I'm excited about is just expanding this conversation into a place that you can meet other listeners, other people who are connected to the real life process. You can interact more with our team. We have about 13 different people that work on our team that are behind the scenes or very upfront, like Lindsay is, interacting with you. And so you as a listener just get to expand into all these different places and connect to more of my circles and more of the places that I love to hang out. And I love to hang out in community. It's one of my greatest values. So I'm really excited about what conversations we're going to be able to have inside of this circle platform. You're going to see, once you join, you're going to see over to the side, like Community Hub. That's going to be a place where you can interact with things that we're doing. So let's talk about what kind of interaction, Lindsay, that we've come up with and kind of our plan to just have a lot of engagement inside of the circle community.
Yeah, and I love that word engagement because I think that's something you are sitting at home or driving your car, whatever you're doing as you're listening to this podcast, and we want to have a conversation with you. We want to hear back from you and you not just receive the content, but for you to kind of engage with us in it. So I love that word engagement. So something that we want to do is have a different theme each week. So we mentioned those 4 areas. So one week we might focus on business development. One week we might focus on personal development. And then another week is on spiritual growth or life story work. Now, of course, these all overlap. So there's going to be, kind of a little bit of each all the time. But each week we want to focus on one theme where we are sharing resources and having conversations around that idea. So some of the things that you might see are blog posts and articles written by members of our team about that topic. You're going to see a live call where we get on and have a conversation and invite you to respond back to us in the comments as we unpack that even further. I love that you're going to be able to come into that community hub space and not only take in the resources that we have for you around that topic, but ask questions, engage. Our team is going to be hanging out in there and responding to you. You're going to come in contact with our real life process coaches, other people that are passionate about doing life differently. And so for you to have a place that you can interact with each other, ask your questions, share your ideas, because we want to learn from you as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that, at least in the beginning, that I'm really excited about with this community is you don't have to feel like you have to come up with the topics or you have to come up with, you can just, this is one of the places where I'm going to say, like, you can just be a learner. Like, you can just be there and learn and ask questions. And for so many of you, you are leaders. You are people that are either own a business or you're leading an online, you're an entrepreneur, you're in the ministry space, or you're serving others, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so I hope this community provides a place for, at least in the beginning, for you to just feel like I don't have to create the content. I don't have to create the engagement. I can just be a soul in God's presence, just be here, be with other people who are doing like-minded work or think like-mindedly. I don't know if that's a word or not, but that think like I do, that really want to share life and their faith at that intersection place, which is what so many of us struggle with. And how do I show up in the world and be light and be all the things that God has for me to be? And yet I'm called, or I feel motivated to do a certain type of work. I don't believe any of that's wrong. We all need all kinds of people in the world and doing all kinds of things. And so we want to support you in that. And that's one of the reasons I'm really excited about this type of community that we can have that's absolutely free.
Absolutely. And I think there's something about having a space where we all have the same values. We are passionate about growing, and you may not have a place right now that fits that for you. And so we want this to be a place where you can connect with other people that say, yeah, I want to do life differently. I want to grow personally, professionally. I want to grow in my spiritual walk. I want to explore my life story, that there is a hub of people that are passionate about the same things you are. And so we hope that becomes that space for you, that you can really connect on those things that matter most in your life.
Yeah. You mentioned, Lindsay, right there, and I'm going to back up a bit, things that you value. And I think that might be, I just want to share real quickly. I haven't shared this a lot on the podcast, but you might think, well, what are the values that you have? And we kind of have 4 of them that we operate around here at the Real Life Process, and that is be present. So what I love about this community is this free space is going to give us a place to really be present, because sometimes I am frustrated by, okay, I send out an email every week. I do a podcast every week, but it feels so one way, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm putting it out there, and many of you have responded to me personally to emails about the podcast or emails that we send out every week. But this community to me is going to give us a different way to be present, or for me to be present. The other one is to be real. That's another one of our values. And I think inside of a safe community, it will provide a place for you to be real, for us to be real. And don't hear this wrong. I love social media platforms, but there is something about some of those platforms that I always feel like, do I really want to say this here? Do I really want to go there? And some of them are, regulated. You never know. We often talk about it when we're talking about marketing and branding, like you're on rented ground. So, you're on someone else's platform. And so this place will give us a place to be real with one another in a very safe space. We will be monitoring the hub, the community place that is free. We'll be monitoring that. There's going to be a place for you. It's called Celebrate the Moments. If you have followed me for very long, you know that every day I try to come in and celebrate moments, and we're going to have a space for you to do the same. So there'll be a couple of spaces that you'll see that are open to you to engage with others and then celebrate the moments. And so that be present, be real. The other one is bring joy. We always want to show up with that joy. And, the last one is create impact. And those are our values. And I hope, and I pray that this Real Life Process Circle community is really going to help us live out all 4 of those values. And, I know you would agree with me in that, but I just hadn't really thought through it till you said that, like just how much we're going to bring those values out.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good.
It's going to be fun to just explore all of those. So let's dive a little bit deeper. We've talked about where the platform's going to be, or where the community is going to be, what platform. We've talked about who it's for, and we've talked about what we're going to be doing in there. Mm-hmm. But also as a part of that, and this is why we love this platform, there's going to be places where you maybe in the community, in the free part, and you go, I want to go a little bit deeper in one of these areas. I want to go a little bit deeper in personal development or business development or spiritual growth, or exploring more about how my life story, connects to who I am now and how God has shaped and formed me. And as you serve in a role on our team as the executive director of the One Life Maps, that's going to be one of the places where if you're in this free part and then you go, man, I'd like to be a little bit deeper in the spiritual growth and the life story exploration, Lindsay's going to be your connection there. And there's going to be some ways that you can actually go another level down and come into a small paid community and go a little bit deeper with tools and resources. So one of the reasons I wanted to have Lindsay on today is to talk about even that deeper community that is a part of the free community, but is at a paid membership level. So Lindsay, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the One Life Map community that's also launching?
Absolutely. So the One Life Maps community is focused on that area of spiritual growth and exploring your life story. And One Life Maps, if you're familiar with that, is a tool, one of the tools that we use that is a set of visual maps that explores your past, present, and future. And we kind of explore our life story, see what has God been doing, what is God doing now, and what is he inviting you to next as connected to your story. Part of that is very connected also to spiritual practices. Our team is very passionate about what are ways that we create space in our life for God to move, to speak through routines and rhythms. The practices themselves are not the point, but they are a way that we create space for God to do what only he can do. And we will talk about some of those practices even in the free space on those weeks that are focused on spiritual growth. I love kind of making it really tangible of like, okay, I want to grow in my life with God, but I know that so much of that is outside of my control. I cannot make myself grow, but what are some simple practices I can do to make that space where I am saying, okay, God, I am setting this time aside for you to meet with me and to grow, because there are things that we can do to grow and to set ourselves up and our life rhythm up in a way that creates that space for God. So kind of within that membership, there are a few things that you would be able to experience within that paid membership. One of those is some regular live calls. We have a community called Deeper Conversations where we are taking one spiritual growth resource each year. And this year, we're really excited. We're focusing on the Ignatian journey. And so we meet every other month for a live call with Sybil Towner and Lori Schultz. Lori created the resource that we're using, and Sybil Towner is one of our One Life Maps founding leaders. And we just come together for a time of teaching and conversation, small group discussion, reflection, and it's just a way to dive deeper with that resource. So that's one thing that we do together. We also have a monthly facilitator equipping call. So if you are someone who uses the life story maps in your work or ministry with others, that is a time of teaching, training, and conversation around what does it look like to invite others into that journey with you? So if you are someone who maybe you're a life coach or a spiritual director, or you're in ministry and you want some support and some training, and how do I use these tools with other people? This is a great space for you as well. We have a private chat space. So this is where you can connect with our team. You can ask your questions, whether it's about the maps or spiritual practices, spiritual growth. This is a place to connect with people at an even deeper level than kind of that free space. This is people that say, yes, this is my focus, is this area of spiritual growth. And I want to have conversations with other people and connect with them so we can support one another. Our team is there to support you there as well. And then we're also working on building out a resource library. And that is going to have things like video training. We have facilitation plans. If you do use the maps with others, what does it look like to lead a group through the maps? We have schedule templates, slide templates, all kinds of things that can help you with that. Spiritual practice guides that you can use for yourself or with others. There's just going to be all kinds of resources that will give you that support as you are doing that first for yourself, but then also working with other people in this area of spiritual growth that we want to come alongside you, equip you, and provide that support.
So this level that Lindsay is talking about really is going to be a great space. And, it's a small membership fee, $20 a month, if you want to come into that next level down, because this is the kind of work you do, or this is where you want to grow. But the hub itself, the Real Life Circle community, is absolutely free. And you are going to get tastes of that at that level. And I think we've already got probably close to, 70 some people in that free space. But as we open it up, we fully expect for that to grow well into the hundreds very quickly. We are actually closing down our private Facebook group in the coming weeks. As we record this here in January of 2024, we'll have that closed down probably by the 1st of March or so. And we'll be inviting everyone over to this space, this new platform. So that free space, we're going to have all kinds of resources. But then if you want to go down to a deeper level in just this kind of work, working with the maps, having deeper conversations around the Ignatian journey, having a way to chat with other people that are doing this type of work together, absolutely, we want you to be a part of the One Life Maps community membership. And you can do that right there. It's going to all show up in the same space. One of the other things that we love about this platform is we can connect with you at whatever level in all the different ways. And over the next few weeks, we're going to be sharing here on the podcast other ways that you can connect at other levels. So if you're a business person, and it's really not to you about the spiritual growth or whatever, it's more about business and personal development, hang on, because we've got some things coming there as well. And we'll be talking about that in the next couple of episodes. But today I just wanted to kick off with Lindsay coming in. She's been a huge part as we have brought the maps in, the One Life Maps in as a tool underneath the umbrella of the Real Life process. One of our ways was, how do we bring all of this together? It all belongs and it all matters. My story. If you've read my book, Doing What Matters, Living from Rest Not Rush, this is huge to me to say we can do life different. But part of that, for me at least, has been to do it in community. And I wish I could invite you all out to the farm and we could just sit around and I could have one-to-one conversations with you, but that's not feasible or possible for you or for me. So this community, this circle platform is going to be the best we can do. Maybe someday you can come to the farm. That would be great. Many of you have, but for now, this is going to be a place that we can gather authentically, being real and doing all the things to help you and support you. That's really what so much of this is about. So, Lindsay, why don't you share with us once again where they can go, where if you're listening today, it's live, it's there, you can go and join the community, set up your little profile, let people know the work that you do, how you show up, and begin to engage. Where can they go?
Yes. So if you go to thereallifeprocess.com, and remember we spell real life with one L, and right on the homepage, right at the top, you will see where it says join the Real Life Process Circle community. Click on that link. It's going to ask for your name, your email, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And you'll be in. And you'll be in that community space. And then if you look down below, you'll see where the One Life Maps membership is. And if you click that, there'll be a link from there if you want to join that space as well. But just go to thereallifeprocess.com, join us there, and that'll get you everything that you need to join us.
Yes, we're trying to keep this super simple and not be confusing, not be hard to take action. And then what we would suggest you do is so that you can stay engaged. I love to say, be purposeful. Let's pre-decide. And so once or twice a week, just say, I'm going to come back to this community. Maybe it's every day for you. We'll be there every day. But once, twice, 3 times a week, I'm going to check in this community. We'll let you know. And when you can be notified of when we're going live and things that we're doing there. you can go into your profile and set up ways that you're notified of those things. And some of you love to geek out on all of those things. And others of you that are listening might be just like, nope, I just want to get in and get started. And that's perfectly fine. But check back in. Be purposeful this year in how you engage and who you engage with and what are the voices that are coming in. And we're going to try to be there and be with you in some very engaging ways. So I cannot wait. We have been planning this for so long, Lindsay. Yes. I know you're excited to get this off the ground and get going. But thanks for being with me today. Just to announce, the doors are open. Anything else you want to share as we're kind of wrapping up today's episode?
Yeah, I'm just so excited for a space to be able to connect with you all, because it can feel like we're talking about these things and we love talking about it, but where can you go to talk back to us? And we want to hear from you. And so I'm very excited to connect around all those areas. And like Teresa said, we've learned it all belongs, that our personal growth, business development, spiritual growth, life story, all of that comes together, and they all overlap. They all impact each other. So to have a space where we can learn and grow in all of those areas will be such a gift, especially as we do that in community. So we're excited to see you there.
I love that you say they all belong and they all overlap. It was interesting as we were developing this out, just to give you a little insight, I kept trying to kind of in some ways separate them. And then I kind of had this aha moment a few months ago of no, you can't separate them, which is so funny because, I teach on your real life, your real self, your real work, and that they all are engaged. But when I came to thinking about this community, I'm like, no, it does all belong. And we want to talk about all of our lives, not just certain things. But that being said, we are going to have these ways then that if one area really speaks to you, you're going to be able to dive deeper into certain spaces, is what they call them on Circle, certain spaces that you can pay to go a little bit deeper at a very low investment, just to say, I want to go a little bit deeper. So all that to say, you are invited. I love that word invitation, and you are invited to come and be a part with us. Lindsay, thanks for being with me today to make this big announcement. And just joining in and all the work you've done behind the scenes to help make so much of this happen. We can't wait to meet you there. We would love to hear if you come into the community too, I was invited through the podcast. We would love to hear that. Just comment below something and say, I'm here because I heard you and Lindsay talk about it on the podcast. And we just love to know how you got here and how you arrived. But Lindsay, thanks for being with me to kick this off.
Oh, yes, it's a joy. Thanks, Teresa.
So let me wrap up this episode. It was so great to have Lindsay on. You can tell that her and I are both so excited, as is the rest of our team. We'll be back next week to talk with Erica Vinson, who has been with me for a very long time, helping me create and develop the real life process, which is the framework for everything we do. So make sure you join us next week as Erica comes on to talk about her enrollment and her involvement in this brand new community. So remember, you can go to thereallifeprocess.com and you can join this community. Now you know what it's all about. You know how we're going to engage, and you can be there and be a part. I cannot wait to meet you there inside the community. So this has been an extraordinary moment for me, an extraordinary day. But remember, they're out there for you too. Every ordinary day has an extraordinary moment. You just have to look for them. And I'll be back next week to talk more about a great new community. See you then, friends. Have a great week.